Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 158th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica. And on today's episode, we have a full menu of gaming goodness covering such topics as Pokemon Go, Nintendo Switch Online, The Witcher, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, joining me on this podcasting journey is none other than the sensei of sass herself. You can find her at Miss Allie Hart. Miss Allie Hart, welcome back to the Hungry HQ Satellite Edition. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. The sun is kind of shining this morning. It is a little bit overcast here in the Bris Vegas. Nice weather to stay indoors, cook some popcorn, and watch some trashy television. But we'll see what happens.
That does sound nice. It's funny hearing that you guys are going through that brisk kind of coldness that snaps in. Although I don't know how much, your neck of the woods feels an actual winter.
Not much. We get slightly cooler summer. That's sort of what's happening up here.
Slightly cooler summer. Well, we're breaking into summer over here finally, which is nice, except for I kind of thought that maybe my situation would change, but no, I got my stereotypical summer cold. The season starts and get that summer cold.
Isn't it a shit that the body works that way? Like, I'm the same, like leading into winter, I'll get the stereotypical pre-winter cold as well when that coolish snap starts to crack in, and I know what it does to my body, but it just does not like it, and I'm stuffed up and runny and liquidy and all that gross stuff for a good week and a half.
I'm actually generally good when the winter cracks in. Like, my body fights pretty hard when winter starts, but then the second that we are comfortable weather and then it hits summer, my body goes, oh, hang on a second. Wait. So I think it actually might be just because since it's hotter, air conditioner goes colder. And I think my sinuses and everything can't handle air conditioning because I'm a fragile human being, apparently.
We're all just skin sacks at the end of the day.
We are all just skin sacks.
So how is sort of sunny America going, dare I ask? Are you enjoying yourself over there? You having a good old time?
I'm having a great old time. It's funny being over here and actually not participating in any of the many conventions that are apparently going on in the States. I can count about four events that are currently going on in succession, so I'm not a part of any of them. So
not
sadly,
yet. Maybe next year.
Really. Next year, I have to go to Guardian Con. I feel like that's definitely one that I should just go to the standard. So
heck yeah.
Next year, off to Florida.
For sure. Florida isn't bad. Miami is very hit and miss, but there is certain other pockets of that big state that is very enjoyable. Orlando, Tallahassee, and co. So get amongst it.
Yeah, I hope everyone else is enjoying themselves though.
Yeah.
Stay safe, wear deodorant.
Yes, and stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And comfy shoes, all those cliches, all those common sense things, but
it's
aren't
common
really
sense,
common.
But we all forget one of them. So
yeah, we're just dumb skin sacks. So tell me this, Miss Hart, what have you been doing this past week? Tell me, have you been playing anything of note? I know we've watched something similar we'll both talk about. So what you been playing?
Well, I've been playing a very, very popular platformer by the Nintendo brand. That's right. I've been playing Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've been, because I was sick, my Switch was my best friend. You just lay there under a blanket and it's just, right in your hands, and then, you pass out and it just lays on the blanket with you, and then you wake up and you start up again. So, Captain Toad's one of the ones that I felt like I would enjoy. There's a few games that are out where it is like, puzzle platformer and manipulating the stage or the space that you have. And I'm wondering why it took me so long to play it, because I loved it. It was adorable.
It is pretty cute. Like, maybe it took you so long because I think it did start on the Wii U, which is obviously quite the failed horror story after the success of the Wii. So maybe that's why it was a bit slow on the uptake. Because it came out, 5 years ago?
Yeah, it feels like quite some time. So I don't like. Yeah, you're right. So it must have been the platform of choice. So now that it was on the Switch, it's perfect for the Switch. By the way, it runs perfectly on the Switch, and it just makes sense there. And it is really enjoyable. It's such a good throwaway game. Throwaway game always sounds like a bad term, but to me, it's the most perfect term, especially when it comes to games on the Switch. Especially when it's like one of those things where you've got maybe the downtime of about 20 minutes, and you're like, I can't start an in-depth game, but I want to do something with my time right now. So I guess you could play a snap game depending what you're doing, or you could pick up the Switch and play one of these games.
Or you could play it while snapping. You can take your Switch into the toilet.
Oh, no. No, you don't bring your Switch into the toilet, do you?
Not yet, but I'm thinking about it right now. I could get a lot of work done in there.
Start a poll. Do you bring your Switch into the bathroom?
Because it's like, if you take your phone in, what's the difference, you know?
Oh, that's a really good point. I'm trying to think if I actually may have played the Switch in the bath, which actually sounds worse.
Yeah, but that's comfy, you know, get the candles going, a bit of music, maybe a glass of wine.
I think it was that kind of situation too. It was like one of those chill out nights. I'm just like, I'll just play my Switch in the bath and then get all like wrinkly fingers. Yeah. So TMI. So yeah, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was lots of fun. The character is adorable, music, scenery, graphic, everything like that. I believe they have a demo available, so if you want to try it out on the Switch, just look for the demo available on the eStore, I think. So.
That's one thing I loved what they're doing with the Nintendo sort of shopfront there, is allowing users to get demos of these games to try them out before committing the full dollar amount to it. I think it's a good way to keep the fan base happy and get more interest in games, I think, because, you know, people get hesitant with the cash.
Well, I think Nintendo of all, like right now, has to be the platform that has to do that, because the Nintendo tax is terrible. Mm-hmm. They're actually talking about all the games that they have on sale on the Nintendo eStore right now, and I scrolled through and I was still disappointed with the pricing on some of those games. And I know some of them are PC games, I know some of them are mobile phone games, and I know that the prices that they are asking for to have it on the Switch platform is just dramatic, and they should offer demos if you're going to be asking for games at that price. So
yeah, Nintendo are the eternal barons and tyrants of digital video game purchases, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I got a quick question on Toad in general, not just this game, but do you think, like, I know there is conflicting reports out there that the mushroom base at the top of his head is actually part of his person. Like, but do you think, for example, if that was a hat and he took it off, what would the top of his head look like?
It'd be circular. He'd be like a bald man, wouldn't he? He'd be like, he'd just be like domed top, like, and shiny.
I picture him having like a big afro. And it sort of, you pop that off and the hair just someone goes boom and sort of comes out and replaces where the mushroom is.
Yeah, I guess I just assume because he's like based off mushrooms and fungi that he'd just be like a polished top.
Yeah, because little Toadette, she's got the sort of the pink plaits. So I'm assuming he's going to have some kind of hair. So I'm thinking a big fro.
It must be, like, the mushroom top must be his hair, because I'm pretty certain, I can't see the picture of the game right now, but I'm pretty certain he's wearing a helmet.
Yeah, he's got the little, like, the mining light wrapped around the top of the mushroom top on the game cover art.
Points for none of us saying the term mushroom tip.
It's a family show.
It's a family.
Sometimes.
Since when? No one told me.
It's a twisted family show.
It's a very twisted family show. Speaking of twisted, I also played Cuphead on the Switch.
Heck yeah. Underrated game.
So I can't even actually remember the last time I played this game. It was definitely on PC. And I got frustrated the fuck out of it. I gave up. I'm going to admit it. I actually gave up. I got frustrated. So seeing it on the Switch, I'm like, you know what? It feels like this could be actually better on the Switch, better handled. It was, but I'm still frustrated. The controls I feel are much smoother on the Switch, handling wise, and obviously no detail really gets missed. Loading times though, to me, felt longer. You're
probably right. Right. Like, I haven't played it on the Switch yet, but it is a weaker console from a processing power perspective, so the load in and the render probably would take a good portion higher than a PC or the Xbox.
I just didn't think I've actually encountered that. Like, there's a few games now where I own them exclusively on PC and Switch and haven't really noticed any, dramatic load time differences. But this was like the first time, like, loading up just a stage or like the next screen, and it really went for quite some time. I was like, this isn't normal, is it? So that's probably the only downfall. I still suck at the game, everyone, just so you know. I'm still absolutely terrible at Cuphead, and I have zero patience, so this game's probably not meant for me.
It's tough. It is so unforgivable. Like, and it hurts. It's a soul-crushing game sometimes. With some of the near wins where you get the boss, because obviously when you get defeated by the bosses, you can see how far along the progress bar you were to defeating that boss, and when you're like in that final 5 or 10%, it's just a gut punch. It
is an extra dagger in the heart when you see that progress chart, and you're just like, yeah, you're almost there, but no cigar, sorry. And it's really cool seeing the graphics a little bit up close when you're playing handheld, because I still don't play my Switch in docked mode ever. Yeah,
I do when playing with other people, but outside of that, it's usually handheld.
Yeah, strictly handheld. And just as a quick throwaway, I was playing what was it called? Is it Scribblenauts? The game where...
Oh, yeah. Scribblenauts.
Yeah. So, I think it was on mobile phone. So, this is another good throwaway game. Not a snap game, because I feel like it's a little bit longer, but yeah.
Sometimes poos can take a while, so works. Works well.
Get that quote written down in your book.
Yeah, that'll be in my memoirs. Sometimes poos take a while. That might be the title of the memoirs themselves. So,
a book about Brendan White.
That's it.
What have you been playing?
After the talk of last week from the Dream hyping up Dota Underlords, and obviously anyone that listened to the last episode, I downloaded it during recording last week, and I've attempted to play 2 games of it, and I still don't understand how to play. And the games go for a long time. Like, I can understand why his phone battery dies playing this, because I've only played it on the old Pixel 3, and the games go for 45 minutes plus, because you've got to whittle the life value from 100 down to 0 on 7 or 8 other people you're battling, and it goes forever. The amount of rounds you play in this, it's 30, 40 plus rounds at a minimum to try and win this game. Art style looks nice. As Dream said, it doesn't cost anything. I like the RNG elements to it. There is some risk reward about how you deploy your various heroes or warriors onto the board and where you place them. I can't really talk about the depth of the combat and the strategies yet, because as I said, I've only played 2 games and I'm still pretty damn clueless, but I can see the potential there once I understand the meta and understand and sort of formulate some good strategies to try and get better at this game. But gave it 2 cracks, played for about an hour and a half. Yeah, all right, I'll give it another go. It didn't cost me any money. Played some more Elder Scrolls Online this past week. Been grinding the heckers out of that. Got some pretty sexy mounts now. I've got a bear mount that I can ride around on, and a big giant wolf that's sort of all decked out in some light armor. So my little night elf, my little Nightblade wood elf, I should say, she is starting to look a bit fly. She started out, because obviously with MMOs you're getting a random mishmash of armor and weaponry, so it almost looks like you just dumpster dove and grab whatever you could find. Got a helmet from some race, you've got some boots from somewhere else. So I look like this little home brand wood elf for a while, but now I've got sort of a full head to tail suite of armor. So I'm starting to look a bit better, starting to work out the rotations for abilities and how to maximize damage and things like that. And it's just a good time sink, like MMOs, because you're just cruising around this world and finding side quests, or doing the mainline story, fighting dragons, going fishing, attacking animals, leveling up your proficiencies. There's so much to do, and I've really, really had the bug bite me again with Elder Scrolls Online and this new Elsweyr DLC, which, as I said last week, brought in dragons for the first time to the franchise. So I'm all about it. Really all about it, really digging it. So I'm hoping you guys pick up a copy on PC soon and start joining the eternal grind with us, because it's a hell of fun.
I am jealous. I am jealous that I was the person that said, "Oh, I should really get into this," and now I'm just living through listening about your adventures, and how wonderful the life you're having now. So, I guess I should jump on. I guess I should give it a go.
Yeah,
but I have to buy the whole.
You don't have
pack.
to. You could just buy the baseline game, and that way you could dip a toe, because the baseline game you can get it for under $20 from a lot of places. So that way you could feel it out and see what your thoughts are. And then if you like it, you can upgrade that version of the game to get all the other DLC for, I think,
Hopefully
$40.
You don't need a disc drive. I don't have a disc
No.
drive. So.
Just you can buy it directly online, digital download that sucker. And then the other game I wanted to talk about today, but I haven't really touched it at all yet, is Sea of Solitude, which came out a couple of days ago, done by Jomei Games and published by EA. Which is a nice adventure video game. It got some initial hype last year at E3, a couple of delays, but really, really nice art style. You play this young woman named Kay exploring sort of a submerged, abandoned city with massive big sort of creatures in the sea. But then you actually find out that Kay herself, this young woman, has got some monstrous qualities, and you're trying to work out why she's gone down that way. And it sort of tackles a lot of those mental health issues, like similar styling to Hellblade, where it is pretty sort of heavy emotionally and will sort of draw you in to some pretty serious topics and thought processes. So I want to try and finish that this week, because I think it's only about a 6 to 8 hour game. So I want to try and finish that this week to talk about it in more detail next week.
Okay. I have a lot of questions about that game, because that was definitely one that captivated me. The art style does look great. The only thing that kind of throws me off is there's a lot of elements, like they show a lot of parts where you're in a boat above water, and there's like a lot of things under the water, and that's not cool with me.
A lot of beasties, a lot of sea beasties under there ready to take you down. So yeah, as you said, the art styling of this game is really, really nice. It's sort of got that sort of indie flair to it, but getting a bit more of a AAA polish on it through EA. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about it in more detail next week and answer some of those questions you've got there. But maybe we jump into something we've both watched this past week. We both went to the cinemas and checked out Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
I thought it was really good. I actually genuinely enjoyed this one. I've seen a lot of people put this one on the bottom of the recent Spider-Man movie lists, and I
fuck them guys and girls.
I don't understand why. Actually, I think I did enjoy this one more than 2. I think, but it was it was fantastic, and this is like the first movie in a long time for me personally where the after credit scenes were actually very important to watch. Like, they actually had a lot of substance to
them. They did. They were huge. Like, we'll avoid spoilers in this discussion as best as we can. But yeah, those end credit stingers were like jaw drop moments. And I'm so excited to see where they take this story moving forward as we move into the next phases of the MCU. But I love this movie. Like, I loved the lightheartedness of it. I like the emotional hooks in it, the comedy, the action set pieces, the casting. I really like Jake Gyllenhaal as Quentin Beck, Mysterio. I really liked him in that role. Tom Hollander's Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man for me already. I love him in that role, and he's just so heartfelt, and obviously he's a younger dude as opposed to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire when they were playing Peter Parker as well, but he's got this vulnerability to him, which I really like, and you can really get behind.
Yeah, he definitely has a very unbelievable, like, naive innocence about him. Like, there's nothing that feels fake. Like, you know, sometimes you can feel when an actor's really pushing the, like, I'm just a vulnerable guy that, you know, cares about everyone. For some reason, it just really reeks out of Tom Holland. So I just also liked how self-aware the movie was. There was like a lot, like you said, tongue-in-cheek moments, a lot of like little like comments and remarks, and there's a lot of cheese factor in it, but it's not the cheese factor where you kind of cringe and you're like, ah. It's like, it's sweet. It's very innocent. So Yeah, I was very impressed with the fact that the movie actually engaged me from start to finish as well. Like I said, lack of patience. But I found that movie just kept me on hold like the entire way.
Yeah.
And all the other little side characters too were just very sweet.
Yeah, like I really like Zendaya as MJ. I like that they've sort of gone away from that stereotypical, ginger red hair, paint by numbers,
damsel
Mary
in
Jane.
distress.
Yeah, she's sort of strong and independent and quirky and stuff like that. But yeah, just right as you said, right from the jump, this movie got you. Like, obviously they dealt with the fallout from the latest Avengers film, sort of addressed that, and then moved on to, all right, this is about Spider-Man, this is about Peter Parker trying to find his way. Where does he fit into all this? Here's all the characters that surround him. What are we going to do? I really liked Happy in this, who sort of is almost like a pseudo-father figure to him in this, where he's a bit of a role model now that Iron Man is not in this film. But yeah, I was hooked from the jump. Like, it had a real 80s vibe to me, this whole movie. Like a real 80s coming of age film. It felt like it could almost be like The Breakfast Club or something like that.
Yeah, I guess, they have that trope where, like, and this is a spoiler, it's like, a school field trip and, adolescence and, finding love and finding your place in the world and everything like that, in romantic, like, European scenery, like, yeah. Like, I actually feel that vibe. I didn't notice it, but now that you mention it, I actually do feel that vibe.
Yeah.
Good soundtrack too.
Hell yeah. Just everything about it was so well done. And I can't speak highly enough about finding the time and ponying up some cash to go check this out in the cinemas. It's an impressive movie. Like, what did it run in at? About 2 hours, I think. It probably clocked in just about. Yeah, didn't
probably
feel long though.
No, it did not feel dragged out. It didn't feel like like any spots where you could have said, oh, maybe they could have done without that. No, everything was relevant in its place and did not drag on at all.
Yeah, but so well done. Loved everything about it. Yeah, one of the films of the year for me. Not really a pleasant surprise because I really liked Homecoming, and then obviously his insertion into the other MCU movies. But it's nice to see Spider-Man continue to evolve on a personal level and see where Peter Parker fits into this big bad world. So yeah, bring on more Spider-Man. Do we get to see the Spider-Man Venom crossover in the future? Who knows? That's not spoiling. That's just me spitballing, throwing darts, because I'd love to see them try and weave that in there. But I don't know.
This is like the first time I think I really, really cared about a hero too. Like, you just saying that now, I was just like, no, I don't want that. I don't want anyone hurting little Tommy.
Yeah.
Little Holland. He's such a sweetie.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. And yeah, that role is his, I think. Like, I could happily forget the Garfield, Maguire, Spider-Man spin-offs and just go, no, this is where it all started with Tom Holland. Because, yeah, I love everything about him in that role. Yeah, give me more of this. I just want to watch Spider-Man movies all the time now.
Yeah, me too. I've never actually liked Spider-Man. It's definitely been a character that I didn't care about. But yeah, first time caring about Spider-Man and wanting more. So
yeah, it's from recency bias. It's Tom Holland Spider-Man and Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse is the other Spider-Man I really love. The slightly out of shape, broken man from the recent sort of animated Spider-Man film as well. They're my two faves.
I'm impartial to the noir Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, sorry.
Yeah, but no, just go see it. Go see it. I can't wait to see what they do with this next step in the MCU and see what they do with Spider-Man. As I said, the end credit stingers were just, oh my goodness, what's happening? So the excitement levels are at an all-time high to see what happens next.
Yeah, definitely stay.
Yeah, stay twice. I got to say
Twice.
too, because I nearly walked out for the last one, and then I heard it sort of cut over in the credits, and we ran back in. So, yeah, stay. You need to see two. There's two stingers. So, yeah.
2 minutes in, and then 8 minutes in.
I think so. Yeah, keep your butt glued till you see the second one. But yeah, also keep your butt glued to your computer chair while you head over to audiotechnica.com.au and buy the best in audio-based equipment. We're talking headphones, microphones, gaming headsets, in-ear headphones, cans. We're talking turntables. We're talking the best in audio equipment, bar none. So audiotechnica.com or audiotechnica.com.au. And while you're there, head on over to weare8bit.storeenvy.com for the best in video game-related merchandise in the entire universe. We're talking multiverse quality good here. We got tees, hats, beanies, pillows, pajama bottoms, swimsuits, you name it. It is all there.
You said pillows, and then for some reason, I guess it's just me, I just automatically thought body pillows, and I was like, I don't remember signing on to that, but anyway.
They're coming. The second the storefront allows them, they'll be on there too. You know, we've got something.
That could be a bloody Patreon tier, that can.
Yeah, your own custom body pillow. But segueing nicely into Patreon, we are literally $2 away from launching the Comedy Rewind podcast. $2.
Oh
so
my God.
Anyone listening now, dip into your pockets. Even two people, $1 each, will get us there to launch the Comedy Rewind podcast via the Patreon platform. So patreon.com/weare8bit. Dip in your pockets, throw a little bit of spare change at us each and every month because it will help us create new, exciting, revolutionary content from our various members of the hashtag 8bit collective, as well as get you access to exclusive perks and benefits you cannot find anywhere else on the interwebs or the multiverse. But yes, patreon.com/weare8bit. But let's get on to some news.
This week's news headlines.
The first bit of news, short little stinger. Armoured Mewtwo is coming to Pokemon Go on July 11th. Mewtwo is coming back to Pokemon Go raids, but will be sporting a new look. This armoured version is based on Mewtwo's appearance from the upcoming Pokemon anime film, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which is a film that just rolls off the tongue. But I know you still dabble in a bit of the Go life. Are you excited? Does this move the Poké Needle for you?
No, I'm not good with the Pokemon Go raids because no one wants to see a grown adult hanging around a bunch of children around a street corner.
That is a little bit suspect. Like, you don't have that look about you, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
But if I say what I was going to say, which is the most times that I can actually achieve a raid is by sitting in a car park in a car near a bunch of kids.
Hey, kids, want to flick some balls?
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Words often heard at Pokemon raids.
Yeah. Hello, fellow children. You want to flick some balls? I mean, hey, if I get a chance, maybe... Oh, you know what? San Diego Comic-Con's coming up soon, and that's an event with a lot of people. So maybe I'll just, head on down to that, and that's usually where masses are gathering, and it's not too weird to be people of various ages and all appearances, let's just say.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give it a go.
Yeah, you'll be free of judgment there at SDCC, so that'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm sure for the millions of Pokemon Go users out there, this is probably getting the hype levels sort of up to another level. Mewtwo is obviously one of the strongest Pokemon in the Pokeverse, and now you're going to get an armored version. So, yeah, that's a bit exciting, I assume.
That anime film name is terrible.
Yeah, it's rough, isn't it? Like, why is the evolution there? Like I know there was a Mewtwo Strikes Back movie, but couldn't you just say part 2 or something? Anyway, I got no skin in this game. So the next bit of news, Nintendo Switch Online now has 10 million subscribers, and that is up from the 9.8 million reported back in April. So how does this 10 million figure compare to PlayStation Xbox, I hear you asking? Well, as of February 2019, PlayStation Plus had 36.3 million members. And while Microsoft doesn't report how many people subscribe to Xbox Live Gold specifically, but as of April this year, Xbox Live had over 63 million users. But that is across multiple platforms, so factoring in PC and even, say, people may be playing Minecraft online via the Xbox platform. I don't know if it falls under that too. But, yeah, 10 million's nothing to frown about. Like, it's a necessary evil if you want to play things like Mario Kart Online and Tetris 99 and things like that, but I don't know.
Shout out to all those Tetris 99 players like myself.
Yeah. I've got it. I have not used it still to this day. I've got Nintendo Switch Online, but I have not used it, but I'm one of the 10 million, so go me. But what do you reckon?
A stupid question. I completely forgot to check in. Do you need Nintendo Switch Online to access the eStore?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say that would have been a bit of a cruel thing to do. But no, it just makes sense. Nintendo Switch is a platform that is very highly popular with online gameplay. Whether their servers are great and working, that's another story to talk about. But yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's a popular platform, and more people I talk to now are like, that's it, I'm getting a Switch. So it's just going to go up more.
Yeah, especially with these rumors that this next sort of Switch 2.0 is going to be announced any day now, with sort of leaked potential prototype photos of this new thing that's going to be sleeker, more powerful, and a few other things there. So that's exciting.
Which is what all us Switch holders want to hear about after we've dropped some money on the Nintendo Switch. So
how do you feel like if they did bring out another Switch that had a higher resolution based screen, maybe more graphical output, so you could get a better experience? Maybe it's a bit smaller. Maybe it's got functionalities where you can connect a Bluetooth headset to it, for example, instead of having to have all those cables to have in-game chat with sort of party members. So would you trade yours in to buy a new one, or would you just sort of deal with your OG?
I honestly think mine's fine as is. I don't know what kind of change to the current Switch would actually convince me to switching over. Improving, graphic quality doesn't really matter to me, because if a game is, I don't know, a particular game, I'll just play it on my PC, if I'm going for, good graphics. But the Bluetooth speaker thing, I don't really care about. Yeah, no, I don't think it'd have to be something really, really great. I don't want it smaller. Smaller to me isn't, take that as you will, but smaller isn't necessarily, good when it comes to the Switch. So
and
I'm
like
happy.
that,
I'm happy.
Millions of young men around the world's hearts were broken. Because
enjoy the size you get at the start, okay? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, be thankful for what you have.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, I don't know. If I start playing the Switch more online, maybe some of those things would be more appealing to me. But at the same time, I'm a hypocrite because I like to have things on day one and have all the new and shiny. So who knows? Maybe I buy one and have two there for the sake of wasting money and saying I have a new Switch. But I don't know. It's something we'll probably not have to wait too much longer on to see, because no doubt they'll want to start hyping this new Switch release up coming into holiday season, because it is goddamn July already. Like, what in the hell is going on here?
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But you're right. Christmas time would be prime time for, getting one of these released out to the world and get those suckers to either buy again or buy for the first time.
Yeah, but if you're looking to sink your teeth into something in this July while you wait for the new Switch, upcoming Gears 5 versus multiplayer tech test open to Xbox Game Pass members, and this comes via way of Wesley Yin Poole at Eurogamer. In the Gears 5 versus multiplayer tech tests, I think they've had the same marketing people that wrote the Mewtwo Strikes Back title as well working on this article. It is going to be available for Xbox Game Pass members as well as those who have pre-ordered the game, developer The Coalition has announced. The tech test, which was on Xbox One, also requires Xbox Live Gold, will be available to download from 17th of July. Online play will be active from 19th of July until 21st of July, with another test planned from 26th through to 29th of July. So, within the next fortnight, you can be playing some Gears 5 with your mates on Xbox Live Gold. The test includes Escalation, which is the new competitive game type, as well as Arcade, a new approachable multiplayer game type, and fan favorite mode, King of the Hill. Also included is the new training mode called Boot Camp, which lets players practice and learn the new mechanics. And finally, the tech test includes a short tour of duty, which is a series of challenges that unlock stuff like skins and banners. So that's pretty cool, because we are both card-carrying members of Xbox Game Pass, and we can jump on and play some Gears 5 within less than 2 weeks' time.
That's crazy. And it's cool that they're doing this kind of exclusivity for pass holders as well. Like something like tests. I didn't think about like how awesome of an offer that could actually be, and that was something they could actually put on the table. So that's pretty cool.
That's it. It gets you early access to a AAA title, and maybe they'll have a short Q&A at the back end, or get you to fill out some kind of feedback form to gauge opinions and maybe reshape some of the game coming up to release. So yeah, shout out to Xbox and the Coalition for that. But I'm keen. I love Gears multiplayer. It's just so crunchy and visceral, and just the combat is heavy, and I love that.
It's very chunky, very chunky. I'm very curious what approachable multiplayer game type is.
Yeah.
I want to know what that meant. Arcade approachable multiplayer game type.
I'm thinking maybe, I don't know if it'll be class-based, but maybe the characters you start with might be already fully kitted out, because you know how usually you start with a Lancer and a shotgun variant or something on your back. Maybe they're going to give you some more powerful weaponry, whether it be just everyone gets the same, or maybe it's going to be specific classes. I don't know, but we'll see in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. I was always happy with Gears, essentially their horde mode. Like, that was always fun, setting up the traps and protecting loot, I think it was.
Yeah, yeah. I loved the strategy to that.
Oh, yeah. And then the frustrations that go
especially when things start to break down. It's like, okay, we've got, exit A and exit B covered, and C is pretty good, and then something breaches over there, and all that strategy and planning just goes out the window, and then you and your squad mates are just running around going, fuck, what do we do? What do we do?
Exactly. I was going to say, and your friendships go out the window too, because you're yelling at, why is someone shooting at me from behind? Why aren't you protecting? And then they're like, yeah. It's great. It's also fun. Everyone trusts us. Any game where you lose a friendship, it's tons of fun.
Yeah, it says a lot about the prestige and the oomph of the title when it can sort of get you emotionally invested like that, and even emotionally hating. It says something.
It does.
And the second last bit of news we're bringing to the table today, the man behind Daybreak Games' DDoS sentenced to 2 years in prison. This comes via way of Rebecca Valentine at gamesindustry.biz. The man responsible for a series of DDoS attacks, which is denial of service, against Daybreak Games, which is formerly Sony Online Entertainment, and other gaming companies, has been sentenced to 27 months in prison. According to a US Department of Justice press release, 23-year-old Austin Thompson of Utah has entered a plea agreement pleading guilty to a charge of, in quotes, damage to a protected computer, end quotes. Thompson is just one of the members of the hacking group known as Derp Trolling, that attacked multiple gaming companies and games in 2013 and 2014, including Dota 2, League of Legends, and Blizzard's Battle.net. These attacks would be announced via Derp Trolling's Twitter account, which would later post evidence showing the success of the attack. In addition, Thompson is being instructed to pay $95,000 in damages to Daybreak Games. Yeah, Derp Trolling. That's a head shaker to start with. Like, if I'm having a elite hacking group, that would not be my hacking group name. That's for sure.
You are actually at the level where you have a hacking group. I know some people think that that's like really dorky and nerdy, but to me that sounds like the coolest fucking thing ever, because I'm automatically transporting myself back to that movie Hackers that happened in late 90s, early 2000s.
Heck yeah.
And so cool. I don't care what any of you say. It's got Angelina Jolie with like an epic haircut, and she looks amazing in it, and everyone is dressed ridiculously. And Penn, who is a magician, is for some reason a hacker as well. But it's a great movie. I recommend everyone to watch it. So that's what I imagine. But then making the name Derp Trolling just really denies it of its coolness.
Yeah. Yeah, like anything but, like, that makes no sense to me. Obviously, they were pretty damn successful. They brought down a few games for some extended periods of time, and things like Dota 2 and LoL and Battle.net, they're
major.
The big dogs in the space. They are the elephants as far as big game hunting goes for these hacking groups. So Derp Trolling, one of the members, I don't know what's happening with the rest of them. And it's interesting because there was a plea agreement, so I'm wondering if that also has him potentially selling out some other members of Derp Trolling, where he's taken a reduced sentence to give information to the US Department of Justice. But yeah, $95,000 and 27 months in prison.
2 years in prison.
Yeah.
I wonder if they like round him up with the other hard houses, or it's like, what are you in for? Murder. What are you in for? Hacking a gaming site. I hacked a gaming network.
Yeah, I damaged a protected computer. Whatever it was. Like,
quotation marks. Yeah. Damaged to a protected computer.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and obviously we'll start seeing more of this occur over the coming years, because the more reliance on online and cyber activity, the more you get groups like Derp Trolling trying to flex their e-muscles and take down the big corporate fat cats and whatever else. But there's the first one that I know of is regarding sentencing and damages getting thrown towards hackers. I think there is still just a lot of anonymity out there with these other outlets that are yet to be caught. But very interesting story. Unlike a lot of things we talk about on here, I thought it was pretty different. And DDoS.
Well, I think it's because it's when we start seeing, like our gaming atmosphere out in the, sounds horrible, but the real world. So actual like court dates, lawyers, everyone discussing maybe something that's still a little bit foreign to them, and how did they handle it? How did they approach it? Like, I think like the more, like you said, the more it builds up, the more likely that, they'll have to start focusing on what damages are, what's a strong charge, what's a light charge, how much should this person serve? Like, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and more. I shouldn't say in the real world. That really sounds like I'm in my head.
Maybe it's like it becomes more mainstream. Like
mainstream.
That's probably the other way you could look at it. Like things like swatting and what have you certainly bring a lot of attention and notoriety to video gaming and streaming and everything else in between. But you see these constant DDoS attacks happening more and more frequently, where you can see Sony online services being shut down for a while, or Xbox Live, and so on and so forth. And it's becoming more of a regular thing. It's almost every few months, I think, there's services encountering major issues where they've had a DDoS-based attack. So, let's see what happens. It's certainly not Skynet levels yet to be worried about, but we're getting there. We need to get Sarah Connor ripe and ready.
I'll take that spot.
Damn straight. She's getting a bit old these days, so you'll be a bit more
have you
nimble.
seen the trailer?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I'm a Terminator tragic. I don't know.
You are, actually, aren't you?
Yeah. Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Best soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. Like, I watched that like way back when. I think we probably shared this story before, but going to Video 2000 on the Friday nights, do movies and takeout night, and I'd pretty much just hire Terminator 2 every week. And it got to the point where my mum would just yell at me and get angry because she's wasting money with Terminator 2 for me every week. But, lo and behold, Mama Loz, she'd grit and bear it and get that every week as well. And, love you, Mum. And Terminator 2, it's something special. One of the best sci-fi action movies of all time. So, one of the best movies that the sequel is better than the original.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, same as like Aliens. Like Alien 1 is great, but I think Aliens, the more actiony James Cameron helmed film with the Space Marines, better than number 1 from a total perspective for me as well. But anyway, I digress. Let's digress back to Netflix cast of The Witcher. First look photos of Geralt of Rivia, Ciri, and Yennefer. So Netflix has unveiled new photos of the cast, including those aforementioned characters in full costume. The announcement also includes a poster and the first look at the series logo. And then on the back of that, The Witcher will be at San Diego Comic-Con 2019 on July 19th at 2:15 p.m. in Hall H. And they're going to be moderating a full panel with accomplished actress and host and beloved sci-fi fan Yvette Nicole Brown from Community, helming that.
Yeah.
I love her. The panel will include cast members Cavill, Shalatora, and Allen, alongside showrunner Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich. So that's cool if you want to... I don't know if I butchered her surname there, but I'm letting it slide.
There's a lot of interesting names that get attached to this Witcher series.
Hissrich. Or Hissrich. I don't know.
I still can't get over Yennefer. That's probably a very valid name, but... Yennefer.
Yeah, Yennefer of Venneberg. Like, oh, my goodness. I'm excited. Like, these photos that leaked this past week, I like what they're doing with it. I like, Geralt's armor or just general costume that he's wearing. It looks very much in line with the video games and what's sort of conveyed in the stories. Henry Cavill looks pretty damn good as Geralt. He's not as gritty as you see in the later Witcher games or throughout the books, but he certainly fits the mold. Ciri and Yennefer look really good. Like they've stepped away from the Caucasian-based Yennefer that was realized in the video games, and gone with a different interpretation there. But I think she looks really great in that role, and the costume is familiar for fans of the franchise. But where do you stand with all this stuff? Because I know you haven't dove too heavily in the Witcher world. So what do you think about any of this? Does it intrigue you? Give me your hot takes.
I am a Witcher noob. I've never played it, never touched it. If you asked me which name was for which character, I probably would get it incredibly wrong. In regards to this series, I have no interest in it. Looking through the photos, I had no interest. And then looking through the photos, this looks like maybe some kind of like BBC series, maybe something a bit lower than that. Like
BBC makes fantastic television, so you behave yourself with that kind of statement.
Well, then I don't know what what I'm thinking of, but like it's, I don't know, like this one picture that they've released where he's just like standing there, one knee up and he's holding his sword and he's just looking out into the distance. It's all right, but I don't know. Like, I know what the main character's meant to look like, and seeing he looks like oh god, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan.
You're gonna say
either,
Legolas?
So I'm gonna lose it. Yeah, he does look like Legolas.
A little bit. Like he's a lot more staunch than little Orlando Bloom in that role. But I get what you're saying. But I don't know.
And this
I'm
chick
keen.
with the purple eyes, she looks like Lulu from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, so that's Yennefer, who was one of the constant.
Because she's Yennefer.
Yeah, so that's one of the love interests and one of the main characters from the Witcher universe. Ciri is sort of Geralt's pseudo-adopted daughter in the later pieces of the video games, and she's a key cog in the books themselves as well. So they're both true to the source material, but yeah, Yennefer is certainly a step away from the video games. Where
is she?
Yeah, but I'm keen. I'm excited. Like I'm a Witcher fanboy through and through. I haven't read the entire book series yet, but I've read four of the books. So I know what they're hopefully going to try and do, because the games are set after the books themselves, which is a nice follow on. So you aren't really rehashing new material. But I think what they're trying to do is interpret the book source material first and foremost. So let's see what happens when this releases later this year.
Yeah. Look, hopefully when San Diego Comic-Con rolls around, you'll obviously get a lot more detail. You'll probably get a trailer. San Diego Comic-Con's usually a time where those get released. Hopefully you guys get more detail. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something a bit better than these pictures that look really highly touched up. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel if I was actually really into this series, because there's just something a bit off about all these pictures to me.
I get what you're saying. Like it's hard to maintain excitement over a couple of still images. Like the trailer's going to be the real telling tale of what they're doing here and trying to shape. But they need to go with a higher classification. It can't be like an M-rated TV show. It needs to be, MA or R rating. It needs to be gory, not hold back, because it is like a lot of the themes in the books and the games. It's very adult oriented. So it's gore, horror elements, action, sex. So all that kind of stuff needs to be in there and captured the right way. Like it needs to be in the same vein as Game of Thrones.
I was going to ask if it was going to be like a bit of the Game of Thrones action. Okay, you know what? If they go down that kind of route, maybe I will be interested.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that picture of him in the bath.
Yeah, so picture Game of Thrones with more monsters and creatures in it. And that's sort of a good way to describe what The Witcher could potentially be if it's done the right way.
Okay. Well, I'll still keep an open mind. I'll wait for a trailer and see how we go.
Yeah, so let's see what happens at Comic-Con in a few weeks' time, where they've got a couple of actors and actresses coming along to do a bit of a panel. Yeah, as you said, we'll probably get the debut trailer there. And Yvette Nicole Brown dropping some zingers as she chairs this panel. So maybe you should get along to it. Let's get you a pass and you can go check it out and be boots on the ground for the launch of the trailer.
Absolutely lost in the mass of humans and body sweat and smell and all that other fun stuff that comes with conventions.
All those fantastic musks.
I'd love to hear everyone's like list, everyone's convention list that they have to tick off, because some people have really weird quirks, and I know mine's just like deodorant and comfy shoes, and I always fail all that comfy shoes because I always have a nice pair of boots that I always want to wear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm with you too. But yeah, this has been this has been episode 158 of the Hungry Games podcast. We are done with the news. Is there anything you wanted to bring to the table before we start closing this sucker up for another week?
I just want to see you in boots now.
Hey, I like Timberlands. I can class them as boots, right?
I guess
I got some Timmy
that's not
Tims.
the boots that I was thinking of. So
Maybe some nice head stompers.
Yeah, probably.
Or what do they call them? Is it fuck me boots? That's a thing,
Oh,
right?
that's yeah. Coming back from my past in the metal scene, that's what everyone loved to call them. So I used to call them like my ass kicking boots, because you really wouldn't want one of them in your ass.
Yeah,
So
that's
where it
true.
would probably go.
Yeah.
Curious if anyone's playing Minecraft. I also want to throw that into the universe on Switch. I would love to hear people's opinions if they have, or if they, gone down that way. If they want to discuss it, come into our Discord. That's where we do a lot of back and forth, talking about what we're playing, or maybe, bouncing off each other on, whether something's worth a buy. So, head over to our Discord, the We Are 8-Bit Discord.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so one thing that I wanted to say, and I didn't really think this through until about 12 seconds or so ago now, but we're going to do a live giveaway spin the wheel that I've got set up, and Ali can confirm that is in fact a spin wheel with prizes on there for those not watching on this recording. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit spin the wheel on here to generate a random giveaway. But the way to win this is you need to email us in at hello@8bit.net and tell us what you're feeling about The Witcher. Give us a couple of hit points, pros and or cons. Tell us what you're feeling as far as this Witcher Netflix-based TV series, and you'll win yourself. I'm spinning it right now. It is spinning, it is spinning, it is spinning. You will win yourself an 8-bit print. So we're talking one of our merchandise designs printed onto an A4 or an A3 based style, and we will get one of those printed and mailed out to you to be able to frame in your bedroom, your bathroom, your office, wherever you want. So hello@8bit.net. Tell us what you're thinking about The Witcher on Netflix. Maybe The Witcher in general. What's your stance on it? Is it one of the best RPGs of all time? We know it is, but what do you think about it? So hello@8bit.net. And while you're there, head on over to youtube.com/weare8bit and show some love to the constant smattering of video content that is dropping up there at the moment from various members of the collective. Be sure to follow us all as a collective on the socials at weare8bit. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe all the podcasts in the hashtag 8bit collective on your podcast platform of choice, because it helps keep those emotional lights on in our hearts. Follow Miss Ali Hart at Miss Ali Hart. Follow me at Brendan8bit, and follow The Dream at Salim TD. But until next week, 8-Bit Nation, it's been a pleasure. Much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.